increased by only 16%. Over that same time period, inflation alone has grown by 24%. This particular individual had two follow-up questions. Given this trend, do you believe South Dakota adequately funds education? And then the second question was that legislation was introduced this week which would require state aid to education annually increase at the same amount that the overall state revenues increase, up to a maximum of 6%. Will you support this legislation? Or what are your feelings regarding this proposed legislation?
I believe this bill was introduced by Larry Lucas, and he talked to me about it. Philosophically, this bill takes away flexibility from the appropriations when you're locked into a specific number based on revenues and so on. I would not support this on a philosophical basis due to an appropriations perspective that takes away the flexibility. Is education adequately funded? You certainly argue that it is not. I believe that it'll take a groundswell from the citizenry to change the status or the education level support from our state, from our citizenry. But I don't believe that this bill is the way to go. And based on what I know right now, I will not support it.
Representative Lucas brought that bill to me earlier this week, and we discussed it, and I did not sign on to it for basically the same reasons that Fred said. I don't think that there is no flexibility. I mean, it's just no. It's not something that I think is going to work. Is education adequately funded either at the K through 12 or the Board of Regents? No, it's not. Everyone had to take a cut last year. We're trying to bring this money back into, put money back into these funds. I have kids going to college now. It's a grandson, so and he's there. And I know that the tuition is going up all the time. And the reason the tuition is going up is because we are not adequately funding the Board of Regents. So, no, I do not feel that education is adequately funded.
I would agree with that as well. The problems with this bill is, again, where flexibility came up. There's a lot of agencies and a lot of parts of state government which are not adequately funded or can't be if something is locked in like this. We looked at things like some of the flooding disasters, the Pine Needle situation. There has to be some flexibility in the budget to be able to attack some of those things. It also doesn't attack it doesn't address local support in the variety of some of the districts, and so there's that flow which occurs as well. With adequately funding, definitely not. But South Dakota has established a policy that's decades old that we try to get by and tax the people as little as possible and get by with as little as possible. And as a result of that, I would argue